So Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our class on the Nectar of Devotion. Today we will be doing a quiz based on chapter number 6 and chapter number 10 of this book. This book has been written by ISKCON's founder acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's a summary study of the original work by the name Bhaktir Samrat Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. And we have already done dedicated classes on chapter 6 till chapter 10. The lectures are available on YouTube. Now this is the time where we are giving this opportunity to revise our learning that we have done in the past, and we have issued in that regard a small quiz consisting of 27 questions. The participants have attempted that quiz, and now it's a time for discussion. So let us start. We'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome once again, dear devotees. Let us start the quiz discussion based on chapter number 6 till chapter number 10 of this book, Nectar of Devotion. So the very first question is about a book. Rupa Goswami compiles 64 limbs of bhakti. From which important book of Vaishnav tradition? Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, Narad Bhakti Sutra, Prem Pradeep, and Hari Bhakti Vilas. So what is the right answer? Anybody would like to attempt?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it is D, Hari Bhakti Vilas.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is a very good answer. Thank you.
And
Correct
this,
answer is Hari Bhakti Vilas. Yes, yes, Prabhu, you want to say something?
yes. This book was originally written by the elder brother of the author Rupa Goswami.
Sanatan
And,
Goswami, right.
Sanatan Goswami, his elder brother, and he takes out 64 important regulative principles based on the writings from this book.
Correct, correct. Now, if you want to read Hari Bhakti Vilas, it's a voluminous work, and I think in Vrindavan, Ras Bihari Lal and Sons is the publisher who has published this book, Hari Bhakti Vilas. I could also find this book being sold in the Bangalore's Narsimha Girdhari temple. So it's a multi-volume work. If somebody has interest, maybe they can purchase it. It's a very nice work by Sanatan Goswami. Yeah, very good.
It must be in Sanskrit only.
Uh, I have to see, Prabhu, because in the temple they usually keep the book covered with a polythene, and they
Right.
don't allow you to break the polythene just because the book will get spoiled. I have
Right.
not seen it from inside, so it is expected to be in Sanskrit, and I have to see inside the details to know what exactly is, whether there are commentaries also on that book or it is simply Sanskrit or translation. So that I have to check. I have not
Right.
purchased it myself, but that much I know. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, ji. So most important, okay. Out of primary and secondary regulative principles, mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 6, which are the most important. Uh, Accepting shelter of bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, accepting shelter of bona fide spiritual master and serving him with respect, accepting the spiritual master, taking initiation and serving him with respect, and accepting shelter of bona fide spiritual master. So there are four options. Anyone would like to try which is the correct answer?
C, Prabhuji, C.
C, yes. So C is the correct answer. Very correct. Accepting shelter, taking initiation, and serving him with respect. So you would see that these are three limbs: Guru Pad Ashraya, Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, and Vishrambhena Guru Seva. So in the 83rd verse of chapter number 2, Srila Rup Goswami highlights, although all these 20 angas serve as the door for entering bhakti, the first three are the most important. So option C in this question actually is representing this 83rd verse. So Guru Padashraya, Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, and Vishrambhena Guru Seva, serving Guru with respect. So that is the correct answer. Very nice. I will not explain a lot because I think they are self-explanatory. Most of them are don't require many philosophical explanation. But I think this particular question should inspire devotees to consider and to contemplate whether they would also like to look for a spiritual master, take initiation, commit themselves more towards a specific Diksha Guru in their lives. So that's what I would say here, uh, specifically to the devotees who are not initiated yet. Yeah. Most important of all, out of all the items stated for discharging the regulative principles of devotional service, which of the following are very important? Now we are now talking about out of all 64 items, which are the most important? Worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Sankirtan, associating with devotees living in Mathura, all of these. What is the correct answer? Anyone?
D, Prabhuji, all of these.
All of these, yes. So these are last five items
Last
of
one.
last five items of the 64 limbs, and I would read the Sanskrit. So worshipping the deity is Pritihi Shraddha Shri Murter Angri Sevane. Hmm? Having faith and great affection for serving the deity. Then hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the 61st limb. Bhagavat Arthanam Aswado. Relishing Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. That is the 61. Then Sankirtan is the 63rd item, which is Nam Sankirtanam. Then associating with devotees is the 62nd item, Sajatiya Ashaye Snigdhe Sadho Sangha Swato Vare, which means associating with like minded, affectionate, superior devotees. Associating with like minded means the devotees who have similar inclination in devotional service like our own self. Affectionate, it should not be something like a competitive relationship. It should be affectionate. The senior devotee whom we are associating with should be very affectionate and kind to us. And superior devotee, superior means they are more advanced in bhakti. But that kind of association is which is very very important. We should strive to associate with that kind of devotees. And then living in Mathura Mandale Sthitihi, living in the area of Mathura. So these are the five most potent limbs out of all 64 limbs, which we should remember and try to follow as much as possible in our own devotional service.
Prabhuji, there is a small clarification I want to know. We
Yes.
have just talked about three basic principles,
Mhm.
and now we are saying five most important these limbs. So,
Mhm.
how to differentiate between the basic and these most important? Because nothing is common between
Yeah.
these eight.
Hmm. See, let us read the verse number 83. Hmm. The focus of the first three limbs is mainly about Rup Goswami is saying, although all these 20 angas serve as the door for entering bhakti, the first three
Yes.
are the most important. So these first three, which are uh, have been mentioned by Srila Rup Goswami, it is mainly for entering into the bhakti perspective, and that is why they are preliminary do's and preliminary don'ts. These are
Yes.
do's and don'ts, which is when we are in the beginning stage of bhakti, when we are entering in the bhakti arena, then these are the most important. Other 44 we may not focus more in the initial stages, but in the initial stages these are the ones which are most important, and among these 20 items, the first three are the most significant, where we need to uh, focus on accepting a spiritual master, taking initiation, and serving him with with respect. Yeah. So
Right.
does that clarify, Prabhuji?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Qualifications of spiritual master. Now the question starts from, say, taking shelter of a guru, like the first limb. So I have not prepared questions on each and every limb, but try to prepare questions on which I found were more, I would say, important ones. Actually, all of them are important, but some of them are very easily understandable. So I have not made a question around it, but try to made a question around that particular theme where it is a little more. Uh, we need to go a bit more in depth so that our clarity is there. Now it is about qualifications of spiritual master. So the first limb is Guru Padashray. Now, when we are about to take a shelter of a spiritual master, what exactly we should look into the spiritual master, his characteristics, his qualities, what is most important? So, this question is around that. What are the qualifications of a bona fide spiritual master? Follows the principles of devotional service, has realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and arguments, able to convince others of the conclusion of scriptures, one who has conquered the six sense gratifying agents. All of these. What is the correct answer?
D, all of this.
All of this. Yes, Prabhuji. So, would you like to explain, Prabhuji, what is the meaning of this option? Has realized the conclusion of scriptures by deliberation and arguments. What do you mean by this?
So that means he must have learned all the scriptures from his past acharyas, and then also have gone through all the previous scriptures. Yeah,
Hmm,
and then he's following all the principles as per that, and
hmm,
he has a faith and he believes in the Lord, the Supreme Lord.
hmm. Yeah, yeah. But okay, would you like to elaborate a little bit on by deliberation and arguments? What is meant by these two words, deliberation and arguments? Has realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and arguments.
Based on whatever he has studied, huh?
Hmm,
And whatever questions he has been asked, he has provided some counter arguments related to that, because he has fully studied all the scriptures
hmm,
properly.
hmm. Okay, when you say properly studied scripture, what exactly does that mean? So, if somebody
No,
knows
yeah,
Bhagavad Gita by heart,
he has taken diksha from his spiritual master or whatever, from the bona fide master, his guru.
yeah, yeah, that is fine. Diksha is okay. What I'm trying to understand is, say, for example, there is a devotee who has by hearted or has he's memorized all the verses of Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. You ask him from first verse to the last verse, he can recite the Sanskrit very nicely. Do you think he's qualified to become a spiritual master?
No.
So what more do you want to check from that devotees? What more do you?
Prabhuji, probably he is a bona fide spiritual coming in the parampara.
Okay.
That is
See,
one because
yeah. See, okay. Anyone else want to try answering that?
Deep understanding of the scriptures.
Deep understanding of the scriptures. Yes. So deep understanding of scriptures. Now, scriptures are saying bhakti process is the most potent process, or the bhakti process is the process which is meant for the people of Kali Yuga, etc., etc. Those are kind of statements when you read in scriptures. Then, like Lord Krishna says, "Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate." I am the cause of everything. Now, the spiritual master would understand the meaning of this word. I am the cause of everything. So he would understand that Lord Krishna is the cause of everything. He's not only understanding the Sanskrit, but also has deep faith in the words of scriptures, the way it is presenting to us. He's
Yes,
not drawing some other conclusion out of this. He's not drawing some conclusion out of his own whims and fancy.
yes,
So that is deliberation and arguments. Arguments mean that in case there was any doubt regarding any point of view of scripture, then he have already gone through the arguments around that particular topic. Is it correct, is it not correct? It could also mean something like this. If we kind of try to derive some meaning like this, with whether that will fit or not. So this person who is a spiritual master, he has understood scriptures very thoroughly. Not only understood very thoroughly, actually he has deep faith and conviction in the words of scriptures.
yes,
Actually, not only deep faith and conviction, rather he has seen whatever is mentioned in the scriptures, the way we progress in bhakti, the way there are ways and paths given in bhakti, or in the scriptures. He has deliberated upon them. He has seen those things manifesting in his own development of bhakti, in his own life. He has seen he has seen that when he has stopped shravanam in his life, his bhakti quotient has gone down, and once again when he has started shravanam, the bhakti has once again got nourished. He has seen all kind of challenges in bhakti, have seen them written in scriptures, and have deep faith. Oh, this is written by in the scripture, it is actually very correct. That kind of confidence and conviction this person has. So that is very important to because unless that person has seen things like that, he cannot convince others in the conclusion of scriptures. He will not be able to convince. He is simply talking theoretically, and if somebody challenges the other person, the person will not be able to convince others. How he will be able to guide others unless and until he himself is not, or herself is not convinced, right?
means he is a realized soul. That
He's
that
a
is we
realized,
can understand. Yes,
he has a realized soul. That is the right
yes,
word,
yeah,
realized. ज्ञान का पूरा पूरा उनको अनुभूति है, आत्म
yes, correct.
साक्षात्कार है. So that is
Yes,
the
correct. Yes.
okay. And then one who has conquered the six sense gratifying agents. So where from this particular option is coming? Can you remember? We have already studied this.
they say watch out nectar of instruction, sir.
Nectar of instruction, Updeshamrit. The very
Yeah,
first verse. Vacho
yeah,
vegam, manasa
yeah.
krodha vegam,
Yeah.
udaropastho vegam, jivva
Yeah.
vegam, udaropastho vegam. So six vegas. Vacho vego, manasa krodho vego, udarapastho jivva, like that. So all that six vegas that is coming. So what is that in Updeshamrit? It is mentioned that one who has conquered all these six urges is qualified to make disciples all over the earth. Hmm? So the bona fide spiritual master has control over his senses. That is what is being mentioned here. So Those devotees who are having some aspiration for uh, identifying a spiritual master for their own lives, this is, dear devotees, what we should look for in our spiritual master. Relationship between disciple and spiritual master. Which of the following is correct regarding relationship between a disciple and spiritual master? A disciple should not accept spiritual master as God. It is not necessary for the disciple to serve the spiritual master. Disciple should learn process of pure bhakti and Srimad Bhagavatam from the spiritual master. It is all right for the disciple to be sometimes friendly with the spiritual master. So, which is the correct option? Which is okay? Which is the correct regarding? Okay,
C is the correct.
C is the correct answer. Ah, what is the C option? Should learn process of pure bhakti and Srimad Bhagavatam from the spiritual master. So we go to the spiritual master not to ask for what is going to happen in our future. Sir, I am having difficulty with my boss in the office. Kindly let me know if my boss will throw me out from the company or he will retain me from the company. Or what is the where is the stock market going to be in next 2 years? Kindly please predict it for me. Now, these are not the topics to learn from the spiritual master. From the spiritual master, we should learn how we can learn and serve the Lord and his dear devotees so nicely. So pure bhakti, the process of pure bhakti is something which is to be learned from the spiritual master by observing spiritual master. Not only that, every time spiritual master will give us personal advice or personal direction. So we should hear sincerely, hear carefully from what the spiritual master is saying and try to understand what exactly his heart goes towards. Spiritual master is saying that we should focus more on association of devotees. We should do a lot of shravanam of bhakti literature. We should hear from bona fide people, sadhus, like that. All those points we should hear carefully and pay attention to it to understand what he's trying to say. And then Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are going to start Srimad Bhagavatam soon after uh, this Nectar of Devotion quizzes are over. Then a devout disciple should not accept spiritual master as God. No, that is not correct. We should not consider spiritual master as God, as Krishna, but we should give spiritual master similar respect as we would give to God, same respect as we would give to the Supreme Lord, because spiritual master brings Supreme Lord in our lives. So they are to be respected as good as God. Like Prabhupada used to give example, if a postman from the government office comes to our house to deliver some notice, although he is simply a postman in the government's office, but the postman has to be given proper respect. He's a government employee, he's a government officer, so he has to be given proper respect. Similarly, spiritual master also brings the message of the Lord in our lives, so he has to be given similar respect. It is not necessary for the disciple to serve the spiritual master. No, that is also not correct. We should do some service, maybe not maybe everyone may not able to get the chance to serve their diksha gurus in a big way, but general service we already know what is the general mandate, that preach Krishna consciousness, serve the devotees, like that. So even if we have not received a specific instruction from the spiritual master, we should do we should hear from the spiritual master, understand what his heart and mind says, and try to follow what he's trying to request us in general. But if we have been given some specific service, certainly we should try to do it with all our uh, sincerity and faithfulness. It is all right for the disciple to be sometimes friendly with the spiritual master. No, it is not a correct relationship. We should be always very respectful towards the spiritual master. We should not something like be very friendly, like okay, in a joking way talk with spiritual master, my dear sir, or "Oh, hey guru, how are you doing, what was your last night, how was your weekend?" No, those kind of questions are not friendly talks are not there between spiritual master and the disciple. There has this relationship has a certain gravity. certain seriousness, and that seriousness, gravity, respect has to be maintained all time, 24/7, 365 days. Yeah.
Prabhuji, one small clarification on the spiritual master.
Yes, Prabhu.
Since you are in ISKCON and there are many spiritual masters and many disciples,
Mhm.
like you have your own, then others may be having their own. So, do you find some difference between a spiritual master A and spiritual master B? And if at all there is a difference, how do you manage to sort of cover that distance? Some
Yeah.
practical difficulty between A, B, and C and their
Yeah.
teachings.
See, although they are all serving the Lord, uh,
Yes, Prabhu.
the bhakti arena is very big in itself,
Yes,
and different devotees can serve in a different way, can get inspired towards the Lord in a different way. So similarly, uh, different spiritual masters also have different style and different kind of rasa, I would say, taste,
yeah,
or I would say flavor of preaching bhakti. So you
right.
may find get attracted towards some spiritual masters who are more towards delivering lot of nectarian Krishna katha. When they deliver Krishna katha, it is very very sweet, very nectarian. You really enjoy and relish it.
Yes,
Some spiritual master you will find are very good kirtan singers. They when they start singing kirtan, you will enjoy it very nicely. Some spiritual master are more uh, you may find some are more strict. They would demand
yes, yeah,
more from you. They would demand, said there are 16 there are 4 regulative principle and 16 rounds chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the basic minimum. Some
yes,
spiritual master might put some extra conditions also, that I also want you to follow little bit of this, little bit of this. I personally would like. So they would be more of strict nature. So you would, some devotees would like, no, I want my spiritual master to be very very strict. Some spiritual master you will find are more magnanimous. They would not be they would be kind of forgiving many times. So
yes,
you will find different kind of moods and different kind of flavors as the personality of different people are. So uh, the idea is that when you have already seen that there is a requirement to accept a spiritual master.
yes,
Now, one of the most important part that you should feel when you are coming in contact with a spiritual master, when you are selecting a spiritual master, is, are you feeling inspired to move towards Krishna when you come in association with this devotee? So like for example, I will tell you, when Prabhupada uh, had come in contact with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, his own spiritual master, he had not taken initiation from Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. But later on, when he went to Allahabad and met one of his senior disciples, uh, I forgot the name, I think it was Bhakti Pradeep Maharaj. And Bhakti Pradeep Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada would enter into a conversation. And the Bhakti Pradeep Maharaj asks Srila Prabhupada, at that time he was Abhaycharan. So Bhakti Pradeep Maharaj asked Abhaycharan, have you thought of taking initiation from Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj? So Prabhupada ji said, Abhaycharan said that no, I have not taken initiation yet, but I am very much attracted towards Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj. I feel very inspired. I feel very much connected with him. So Bhakti Pradeep Maharaj said that is a very important criteria for selecting a spiritual master. So if our if our heart feels connected with somebody, uh,
yes,
that is something which we should see, that okay, I feel inspired by this personality. When I come in contact with this personality inspires me to move towards Lord. So that is something which we should uh, strongly consider when we are accepting someone as our spiritual master.
right.
Other,
Natural
other, yeah,
selection type.
natural
It's a,
selection.
Yes,
You,
yes,
you
that's
should
right.
not be. It should not be. You should not think that no, it is a tick box thing.
Right,
Uh, you should try to come in contact. Try to take some association, and then it is also not that I'm going to select. I'm going to come in contact with maybe 20 kind of spiritual master. I mean, we should be practical enough also. If we have
right,
come in contact with 4 or 5 of them, one or two are inspiring us more, and there's an opportunity, then it should not we should not delay this thing too much. I mean, that is what I think.
right,
Different people may think in a different way, but that is something which we should like, for example, some people keep on looking for a match for whole of their lives. That they want
yes,
to
yes,
get married, and they look for a girl, or a girl look for a boy, and then every time they look for a girl, okay, she has this, but does not have this, and then if like that we keep on searching, that may become a lifetime activity. We should not try to delay something unnecessarily also.
right, right. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Yeah. So other authorities to follow besides following one's own guru. Which other authorities one also need to follow? Previous acharyas, scriptures, both previous acharyas and scriptures, and following one's own guru is sufficient. Correct answer is, who would
C,
like? Correct answer is C.
C,
Both the previous acharyas and
and
scriptures. Now,
scriptures.
yeah. Now this question is coming from the limb number 4, Sadhu Vartamanu Vartanam, following the acharyas. And as I was mentioning also in our classes on Nectar of Devotion, actually among Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, this is the triangle: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Among these three, which one is the most important? Which one is the most important among these three? In case there is a dispute between Guru, Sadhu, how are you going to resolve that dispute?
Shastra.
Through Shastra. So the Guru is someone who will teach you Shastra. Sadhu or the previous acharyas are also following the Shastra. So the Shastra authority is the topmost. That is what we need to understand here. Hmm? So a devotee must follow previous acharyas and scriptural rules. Thus, one can easily progress and achieve the highest benefit. Skanda Puran. Are Buddha followers devotees? Uh, why Lord Buddha's followers are not considered as devotees? Because they follow non-violent theory, because they deny the supremacy of the Lord, because their philosophy is bewildering, because they preach diplomatically. What is the correct answer?
B.
B, Prabhu.
B.
Because they deny the supremacy of the Lord. But Rakesh Prabhuji, uh,
जी
about Lord Buddha, Srimad Bhagavatam also mentions that is his incarnation of Lord Vishnu.
जी
So he's the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So still we should not follow Buddha, Lord Buddha.
Is incarnation of the Lord
Hmm,
Krishna, but
hmm,
I think the philosophy, or
hmm,
they don't believe in the Vedic conclusions.
hmm,
They don't believe in the Vedas actually,
hmm, hmm.
and therefore their philosophy is not accepted.
Authoritative. Authoritative.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. So Lord Buddha actually came for a specific purpose to to stop the misuse of Vedas, which the people were doing at that time. So he preached a false philosophy that don't follow Vedas and follow me, and that's how he actually persuaded others or persuaded people uh, to misuse the Vedic principles, and that's what his purpose was. So, but since they deny the acceptance of Vedic authority or Vedas, we don't follow Lord Buddha and his followers and his teachings. So, the main thing here is because they deny the supremacy of the Lord, we do not follow Buddha, Lord Buddha. Okay. So, this two questions are both from the fourth limb, which is Sadhu Vartamanu Vartanam. Correct behavior. Which of the following is symptom of correct behavior for a disciple and a guru? He should be fearful in clarifying their spiritual doubts from the guru. Disciple should not be so shy or fearful of guru that he or she does not even approach him. A disciple asking questions from guru is not serious about bhakti. It is all right for a guru to be unapproachable to the disciple if he or she has spiritual doubts. What is the correct answer?
It should be B, Prabhuji.
B.
B.
Yeah.
Disciple should not be so shy or fearful of guru that he or she does not even approach him. Now this is coming from, so your answer is correct. Thank you. This is coming from the fifth limb, Sat Dharma Pricha, inquiring about bhakti. So asking questions about how to progress in bhakti, how to serve the Lord better, how can we improve our devotional service, how can we improve our sadhana, all those questions are very relevant questions, and one should not be fearful or very shy in asking these spiritual doubts from the guru. After all, we have accepted a guru mainly to progress in devotional life. It is not because of fashion, it is not because of some ticking the box, fulfilling some requirement. We are accepting a guru. We are accepting a guru for a uh, very big purpose, and that purpose is mainly to achieve the lotus feet of the Lord uh, at one point of time in our spiritual journey. So certainly we should not shy away in asking that question. Similarly, for a guru also, uh, it is not guru should also be approachable. He should make himself available to the disciple for clarifying the spiritual doubts of the disciple. So it is not that guru should become very busy, and when the disciple is approaching the guru, he should always kind of deny that no, I cannot meet you and so on. So that is also not a very uh, acceptable behavior from the part of the spiritual master. So disciple asking questions from guru is not serious about bhakti. No, he's actually asking questions is seriousness actually. But that also does not mean that we bombard our guru with unlimited questions. So we should also be a disciple should also be intelligent enough to ask relevant questions to make a proper use of the time of the spiritual master. Like that. Accepting only what is necessary. What is meant by accepting only what is necessary? Accepting that much only which is necessary to keep one's bhakti healthy, one's body healthy, one's mind healthy, and one's relationship healthy. Hmm. So, what is the correct answer?
It should be A, Prabhuji.
Hmm. What is accepting only what is accepting what is which is necessary to keep one's bhakti healthy? So, ultimately, uh, some people are comfortable living only in one room house with maybe one bicycle as their means of conveyance, and simply living with some simple food stuff, etc. They can carry out their bhakti nicely with that much requirement, with that much possession. But some may require more. Some may require 3 bedroom house. Some may require maybe maintaining some car, maybe some property, etc. to keep their uh, uh, mental situation in balance to carry out their bhakti in a proper way. So ultimately, the idea is that different people have been, I would say, uh, they feel mentally comfortable, or they feel emotionally comfortable in carrying out their bhakti activities uh, with some uh, possessions, with some level of material wealth, etc., etc. So the ultimate objective is whatever is necessary to keep our bhakti going on nicely, properly, firmly. That much we should accept. If more than that, we should not hanker for it, because that may actually derail us in carrying out our bhakti activities nicely. So that is the criteria. Now this is coming as the eighth limb. Yavad arthanu vartita, accepting only what is necessary. Similarly, in bhakti also, when we accept vows, we should accept that much vow only which we can uh, complete, which we can follow properly. So that means also in that regard, accepting only what is necessary. Fasting on Ekadashi. What is the reason of observing fasting on Ekadashi? Minimize the demands of the body, engage in the service of the Lord, remember the pastimes of the Lord. All of these. Correct answer is
All of these.
all of these.
All of
Yes.
this.
So when we do fasting on Ekadashi, we minimize our food requirement. Minimize means that we reduce than what we normally take. If we take 3 times meals, then we reduce it to maybe 1 time or maybe 2 time or maybe simply fast on water, etc. So depending upon one's own capacity. So when we reduce the demand of the body, that means we will have more time for doing sadhana. We don't have to go to market for purchasing our vegetables. We don't have to spend more time in the kitchen cooking food. We will minimize our requirement of the body, and the extra time we get, we try to focus more on hearing about the Lord, chanting about the Lord, etc., etc. So that is the main reason why we are observing fast on Ekadashi. And this is ninth limb, which is Hari Vasar Sammano, respecting Lord's days. Ninth limb of bhakti. Important for a sannyasi. Which is more important for a sannyasi? To propagate Krishna consciousness, to construct big temples, to have more and more disciples, to have knowledge of all subjects. Correct answer is
A.
A,
A.
Prabhuji.
A is the correct answer. To
Yes.
propagate Krishna consciousness. Hmm. Now this is actually coming from limb number 12 and limb number 13. Shishyadi anubandhitvam and Maha Arambhadi Anudyamaha. Anudyama means taking eager for huge undertakings for or building costly temples. Now the idea here is constructing big temples is acceptable only if this is done for propagating Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Sometimes someone may get an idea that if I construct big temples, I get lot of donation. I construct big temples so that I can live comfortably inside the temple. Now, that is something which is being criticized here. That is not the proper understanding of accepting donation and constructing big temples. So for a sannyasi, the main objective is to propagate Krishna consciousness, to propagate the message of the Lord, and not construct big temples for his own sense gratification or have more and more disciples. It is important to have more and more disciples, because unless the spiritual masters accept disciples, how is the message of Krishna bhakti will propagate? So in order to propagate the message, accepting disciple is necessary, but accepting disciple from the objective of becoming more and more famous, becoming more and having more and more followers, that is not the proper idea. So not also a sannyasi should be very proud of his knowledge of all subjects, and that is not the idea. So most important for the sannyasi is to propagate Krishna consciousness. So that is the correct answer. 11th. A. Respect demigods. If Krishna is the master of all demigods, then does it mean that one should not offer respect to the demigods? A. Yes. B. No.
No.
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
No.
So the correct answer is no. And this is the 17th limb of bhakti. Anya devagya,
Devajana.
Anya devanagya, Anya devanagya. Not disrespecting devatas. So a simple line I would say in this regard, at Srila Prabhupada is saying, Srila Prabhupada would say that a Vaishnav or a devotee should offer respect even to an ant. And what to speak of such exalted personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, or any other demigod. So these are very exalted personalities. They are engaged in the service of the Lord at a very exalted level. So we should certainly offer respects to the demigods. But equating demigods with the Supreme Lord, that is an offense. So considering demigods at the same level of the Supreme Lord, that is an offense, and that is an offense in the chanting of the holy names also. That is an offense. Why avoid offenses? Why should a Vaishnava avoid offenses? To be peaceful, to be happy, to progress in bhakti, to understand the instructions. Correct answer is
C.
See,
C.
yeah. The correct answer is C. To progress in bhakti. And this is coming from the limb number 19. In limb number 19, Seva Aparad and Nam Aparad have been given. Avoid offenses in deity service and chanting of the holy names. So there's a big list, almost I think 70
30.
plus, 70
68,
plus.
68 items, Prabhu.
How many, Prabhuji? 88,
68.
68. Yeah.
I think
So a very big list has been given. Okay, request. Jivan Prabhu, your house is getting some construction work is going on. Looks like. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. So so this is a long list of offenses have been given. We have discussed them in our class. I'm not going to repeat all of them. So you can go through them. It's a list. Doesn't require a lot of explanation. But the point is the major point is we want to make here is if we are accepting devotional service, if we are accepting spiritual master, following Vaishnava way of life, then we should try to avoid these offenses as much as possible. I would say avoid offenses most of the time. Specifically, the offenses to the holy name we should strive to avoid as much as possible. Seva aparads also sometimes it may not be possible to avoid all of them, but the point is we should be aware of them and try to avoid them as much as possible to the best of our ability and capacity. And why we should do that? Because the less the offenses, the faster is the progress in our bhakti. The faster we progress. Offenses against the holy names. How many offenses are there against the chanting of the holy names? 10, 15, 20, 25.
10,
10.
10.
10.
10.
10 offenses are there. So these 10 offenses actually they are so important, as I was mentioning just short while ago, that even if you go to any ISKCON program, any ISKCON center, specifically the morning program. So the morning program starts at 4:30 with the Mangal Aarti. The Mangal Aarti continues till approximately 5:15 a.m. After that, there is Tulsi Aarti, there is Narsimha Aarti, and then after Tulsi Aarti, we chant Sikshashtakam prayers. Sikshashtakam prayers are 8 verses written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after chanting of Sikshashtakam prayers, we recite 10 offenses to the holy name. By religiously, this practice is going on in every ISKCON center, specifically in the morning program. And there is a reason because of avoiding offenses against the holy name is very important. And as we were studying in Nectar of Devotion also, that if somebody commits an offense, then he can take shelter of Lord Hari. Lord Hari can remove that offense. Uh, if somebody makes an offense towards Lord Hari, still there is a way out. Uh, the person can take shelter of the holy names. But if somebody makes an offense towards the holy name, then it is a difficult situation. Then there is no way out. So like that, there are 10 offenses against the holy names. We should learn. And if we are going to ISKCON programs, we will observe that in the morning program after Tulsi Aarti, these 10 offenses against the holy name is recited religiously. And it is good to chant and recite these 10 offenses of holy name every now and then, and if possible every day in our sadhana. That is very much recommended. Result of nam aparad. What is the effect of offending the holy names of the Lord? One feels insecure, one cannot appreciate others, one cannot instruct others, one has no chance of being delivered. Correct answer is
D.
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 One has no chance of being delivered. So when we say making offense against the holy name means deliberately, purposefully actually doing that offense. Sometimes out of our incapability, we may not be able to follow sometimes some requirement of uh, holy name, but that is because of our weakness. But if purposefully, deliberately we commit an offense, that is certainly that kind of a person does not have any chance of being delivered. Correct behavior towards blasphemy, which is not the correct behavior in dealing with the person blaspheming the Lord or his devotees. If that person is an expert, one should defeat the person blaspheming the Lord, give up one's life. At least one should leave the place, do nothing, and keep standing there meekly. Correct answer is
D.
D.
D. D.
D.
do nothing and keep standing there meekly. So there are three situations actually given. If somebody can, if somebody is blaspheming, making some improper propaganda against devotional service, against the scriptures, etc., then if we are capable enough to counteract that person, we should do that. Give up one's life, this is something which we don't recommend to devotees. Sounds very harsh, and at least one should leave that place. So either we defeat the person blaspheming the Lord, and at least one should give up, we should leave the place, if he's not capable enough. At least these two we should try to follow. Doing nothing and keep standing and taking keep listening to that whatever that person is saying, that is not something which is good. Do nothing and keep standing there meekly, it is not something which is advisable. Effect of Vaishnava Chinna. Chinna means symbols, signs. Person who decorate their body with tilak and tulsi beads are never approached by dash. Yamadutas, Brahma, Shiva, Ganapati.
Yamadutas.
Yamadutas. So if you are wearing a tulsi mala like this, tulsi neck beads, wearing a tilak, and somehow you are lying on deathbed, and certainly Yamadutas are, if they come accidentally, and if they observe you wearing a tilak and tulsi beads, they are going to go away. So this person actually is a devotee or a surrendered soul to Lord Vishnu. He's a servant of Lord Vishnu. Actually, we should not disturb this person. Actually, there is some mistake on our part. That's how we have come. So I would also encourage devotees to accept these symbols in their own lives. Uh, Try to wear tilak, try to wear tulsi beads. Uh, Certainly, they should follow these four regulative principles. And if they are not chanting 16 rounds, at least they should be chanting few rounds, maybe 4 rounds or 5 rounds. Uh, if they are doing that much, not doing any non-vegetarian food, or not having any intoxication like smoking, drinking, etc. Grossly they are having some good habits like that. In general, we call them four regulative principles, and chanting few rounds through 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. And if they have this inspiration, they would feel inspired to wear tilak every day in the morning, or also wear tulsi beads around their neck. They can very well do that, and it is very auspicious. And as you can see the benefit, yamdutas are not going to disturb if you are decorating your body with tilak and tulsi beads. So the correct answer is yamdutas. Dancing before the deity. Simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna, dash fly away sinful activities, diseases, old age, and fear. Correct answer is
Sinful activities.
Activities.
sinful activities. Very nice. So now, uh, so the Vaishnav Chinna Dhriti, which was the previous question, it was 21st limb, and then uh, dancing before the deities. So this is
Limb number 24.
limb number 24, Agre Tandavam, huh? Dancing before the deity, Agre Tandavam. Now you go to the ISKCON temple. If you go in the morning, when the after I gave you the program till 5:30, when we recite 10 offenses of the holy name. After reciting the 10 offenses to the holy name, the devotees sit together and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 2 hours, till from 5:30 till 7:30. And after 7:30, then happens Shringar Arti, then happens Guru Puja, and after Guru Puja, there is Kirtan. And when there is a Kirtan, you will see in ISKCON centers, there will a lot of dancing. And there's a specific style of dance also. The devotees don't dance like Bollywood. So dancing is also kind of, there is a Shastra for dancing also for devotees. They have a specific way of dancing, very gently, very nicely, respectfully. And when the two devotees dance together, holding hand together, it should be very cooperative, should be very pleasing, should look like very in a way of cooperation, and a very kind of a celebratory mood, the way they dance together. So dancing before the deities, how to dance, if you go to the temples, you can observe in the morning how the devotees are dancing before the deities. It is very, very pleasing to the Lord. So that is what this limb number 24, Agre Tandavam, dancing before the deity, is saying, that if we dance and clap before the deities, our sinful reactions of many, many lifetimes is getting burned away. So that is the such a very strong effect of dancing joyfully before the deities. Now, many times people who are new to ISKCON culture or tradition or Vaishnava tradition, they find sometimes very, very surprising that how people are dancing before the Lord. They think spiritual practices to be very, very serious, very, very grave. No, it certainly, there is some sense of seriousness is there, some sense of gravity is there in devotional activities, but it is also acceptable to express our love and affection and our joy before the deity. Like when a child dances before their parents, the parents find it so joyful. Similarly, the Lord also find it very joyful when the devotees of the Lord dance in front of them. So it is in that spirit the dancing has to be done. It is not to be done to show off their dancing skills, or maybe to dance in competitive spirit, that he is dancing maybe like this and I will dance uh, better than this, then I will be more will look more hero, or to maybe please the opposite gender, or the ladies are dancing on that side and the gents are dancing on that side, so the ladies are trying to please the or trying to please the gents, and gents are trying to please the ladies. No, that is not the spirit of dancing. So it is mainly to express our joy and devotion towards the Lord. Temples are like royal palaces. Why in India the temples are like royal palaces? Because it should be constructed in that way only. Because only rich men made the temples in India. Because ordinary buildings, if made, would not have been strong. Because the worship of the Lord is to be performed in the way as a king is worshipped in his palace. Correct answer is
D.
D.
yes. Correct answer is D. So the idea here is, and we are now actually talking about limb called paricharya, service to the deity. Hmm? Archanam, we have left some other limbs like parikrama, going to the temples, following the deity, standing up to receive the Lord. So maybe we have left few of those limbs there, but
Limb
they
number
are.
31.
Yeah, so limb number 31 is paricharya. Archanam means deity worship, limb number 30. So deity worship, Archanam means there are specific ways of Archana. So Archana in itself is a very elaborate limb. So there are many sub limbs within the limb of Archana. offering incense, offering flowers. There are many. It's a detail. There's a dedicated course in within ISKCON if you want to become an expert in archana. uh, but uh, paricharya means actually doing any kind of service for the Lord. You can make garlands for the Lord, you can clean the temple of the Lord, like that. So paricharya means serving the Lord, serving the deity. But the question is, why are we doing this kind of service? So, and what should be the mood when we are doing this service? So that the mood should be that we should consider our deities to be like king. He is the master. uh, so that is where the question actually is coming from, that in order to that paricharya we need to have some place for the Lord, and we build that place in a very opulent manner, in a very nice manner. And we should not build that place in a very frugal manner. Nice decoration should be there, tastefully it should be built, colorfully it should be painted, nicely it should be decorated. And why we are doing so? Because the underlying understanding is that the deity in that temple is like a king. He's like a he's like a king for us. He's master of us. So that is the mood. Japa and Kirtan, what is the difference? Hmm. A japa is chanted softly and Kirtan is done loudly. It is true or false?
True.
True.
Yeah. So japa is done very softly. Su laghu ucharo. That is what the Nectar of Devotion mentions. Su laghu ucharo. Laghu means softly. Su means very, and ucharo means spoken. So the japa has to be done in a way that you listen to it only to yourself. And kirtan is if you are speaking that holy name so loudly that the other person can also listen to it, that actually becomes then kirtan. So that is the difference between japa and kirtan. And there were several types of kirtan mentioned: Nam Kirtan, Lila Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, and then yeah. So there were several type of kirtan mentioned. I've not gone into that detail. That was not very difficult to understand, so I dropped it. Okay, so the correct answer here is true. Three type of prayers. Identify three different type of prayers. Vigyapti, रागात्मिका भावबोधिका कामनामयी, रागात्मिका भावबोधिका लालसामयी, संप्रार्थनात्मिका कृपाबोधिका लालसामयी, and संप्रार्थनात्मिका दैन्यबोधिका and lalsamai. Which is the correct answer?
D.
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 D is the correct answer. But after giving that answer, anyone would like to explain what are these different prayers? Samprarthnatmika, Danya and Lal Samai. What is Samprarthnatmika?
Prabhuji, some prarthana atmika means praying, prayer offered very feelingly in a very natural way. Just like a young boy getting attracted towards a young girl and vice versa. It is certainly not a materialistic prayer as one can make out sometimes. But the above example doesn't really fit in with materialistic. But this is an example where the devotee develops such a natural and spontaneous attachment for the Supreme Lord, which is free from any desire of profit, cause thereby achieving perfectional stage of self-realization. It's an advanced stage of bhakti.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, I would like to mention that actually at this Samprarthanatmika stage, the prayer is being done that I develop that natural affection towards you. So the prayer, the person who is praying may not have that natural attraction for the Lord, but he is feelingly praying to get that natural attraction.
Yes.
So that is a little detailed point in Samprarthanatmika. You are
Yes.
very correct. Feelingly offering prayers, and this is typically done at a stage of Vaidhi sadhana,
Yes.
where the practitioner may not have that spontaneous natural attraction, and he is longing for that natural attraction and praying for, okay, please give me that kind of natural attraction which a boy has towards a girl or a girl has towards a boy.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is the example he's giving, and that is what he's praying for. And then, okay, Danya Bodhika, who would so we would like to explain Danya Bodhika also.
Prabhuji, it's a prayer of submission in humbleness.
Mhm.
And the devotee here confesses his wrongdoings very meekly. He at times feels ashamed and promises not to repeat
Yeah,
any digression, if at all.
yeah, yeah.
And the good Lord is there to help this natural offenses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So feeling very, very humble or very, very kind of danya, deen. Deen
Yes,
means kind of humility as a very sinful person, helpless person. That kind of a mood we are in front of the Lord. We are standing like a very humble and a helpless kind of a person. And in that kind of helplessness, we are offering prayers to the Lord. So that is Danya Bodhika. Very right. And Lalsa Mai Prabhu.
That
it's
is
a prayer.
expression of longing, expression of longing.
Yes, yes.
Narada, is eagerly praying to become a person as a menial servant to Lord. That is what you have explained in the class. Yeah, that's an example. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
expression of
the
longing.
so the devotee who is making a Lalsa Mai prayer already is having at a bhava stage. Already he is at a very exalted stage. Now at the stage of bhava, the longing is that I want to have that kind of a relationship with you. I want to have a relationship of maybe in a madhurya bhakti or in a maybe a vatsalya bhakti or a sakhya bhakti or a dasya bhakti, etc., etc. So that longing is that can I have that some relationship for you, some relationship with you. So that is the main mood in this kind of prayer. So already the devotee is at a very exalted stage of bhava in the lalsamai stage. So the correct answer is samprarthanatmika, danya bodhika, and lalsamai, option D. Analogy: what is compared to the material contamination and the incense offered to the deity in this ninth chapter of Nectar of Devotion? Snake, snake bite, snake and medicinal herb, snake bite and medicinal herb, snake bite and snake. What is the correct answer?
C, Prabhuji.
See,
Yeah, C is the correct answer. Snake bite and medicinal herb. Here we are talking about limb number 39. Dhoop malyadi saurabhyam. Dhoop malyadi saurabhyam, smelling incense. So the example or the reference that Srila Rup Goswami gives in order to support this point, support this limb of bhakti is Hari from Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. Here it is said that the poisonous effect of snake of samsar is cured by smelling the incense offered to the deity. Same as when someone becomes bitten by snake bite and that person gets cured by smelling a medicinal herb. So in Ayurveda, there are some herbs, and if somebody is actually bitten by a snake and is brought to this Ayurvedic physician, or Ayurvedic physician somehow comes in contact with this person and knows that he has bitten by a snake bite, just it is not possible to administer a drug in that situation orally or maybe in some other way. So that person simply uh, smells or makes that patient smell this medicinal herb, and that the snake bite or the cure of snake bite is there. So it is same as if the incense offered to the Lord, we smell that incense. It is something like curing our uh, snake of samsara. The poisonous effect of samsara gets cured away. We feel so rejuvenated. We feel so purified by smelling that kind of incense. This was Dhoop Maladi Saurabhyam. That is the 39th limb. Effect of seeing deity worship. What are the effects of seeing the worship of the deity in the temple? One is relieved of all sinful reactions coming from the past. One is even excused from the killing of Brahmana or similar prohibited activities. Even mystic yogis can be elevated to the devotional service of the Lord. All of these. Correct answer is
All of these.
all of these. Yes, that is correct, Prabhu. So here you would see that I have combined multiple references to make one question. But the idea is that it is very, very auspicious, very, very elevating to have darshan of the Lord in the temple. So it is limb number 41, Shri Murter Darshanam. And before Shri Murter Darshanam, the 40th limb was Shri Murte Sparshanam. So we discussed in the class about Sri Murte Sparshanam that not everybody is qualified to enter into the uh, come near to the deity and touch the deity of the Lord. So there is a limit in the temple that beyond that limit, general people can actually have a darshan of the Lord. But those who are pujaris, who are properly initiated, trained, have accepted some additional vows for deity worship and so on, they can only enter inside the Garbhagriha, the sanctum sanctorum of the temple, and actually offer personal service to the Lord. In that personal service, it will require for them to touch the deity, to bathe the deity, to clean the deity. So they only can do that. But for other general people, it is available. The darshans are available from some distance. So that is possible for those people only. So Sri Murter Darshanam, seeing the deity is acceptable for everyone. And if we do that, actually it is very, very auspicious as this question is suggesting us. What are the benefits of hearing about the Lord? Now we are talking about limb 43, Shravanam. One can achieve liberation. One will not be touched by material hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation, and illusion. One will be freed from all inauspiciousness in the heart. All of the above.
All of
all
them.
the, all of
All
the
of the
above.
above. All of the above. Yes. So Shravanam can mean three possible ways: Nam Shravan, Charitra Shravan, and Guna Shravan. Hmm. So if we are hearing the holy name by way of Kirtan or by our own chanting, Japa, etc., that is Nam Shravan. Charitra Shravan means hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, Leelas of the Lord, and Guna Shravan means hearing about the qualities of the Lord. That is Guna Shravan. And all kind of Shravan is very, very auspicious, very, very uplifting, elevating. Actually, if you hear Prabhupada's lecture, the limb of Shravan is the most important limb in bhakti, as Prabhupada would always emphasize. So, uh, if we have to consider any other limb of bhakti which is even more powerful than Shravanam, that is association of devotees. And what actually we do in association of devotees is Shravanam. So, if everything uh, is going down in your bhakti, so you need to carefully evaluate that has your association of devotees come down in any way. And if you want to really take your bhakti to good heights, progress, keep nourished, make sure that you take association of devotees on a regular basis. And how we should take association, we have just now discussed short while ago. That is association of devotees, like the last 64 limbs. Also, one of the limb is this association of devotees. Sajatiya Ashaye Snigdhe Sadho Sangha Swato Vare. Like-minded, affectionate, superior devotees. If we are going to get this association, we should not miss the opportunity. We should take this opportunity to associate with devotees on a regular basis. Even if it is not superior, it is not snigdha, certainly any kind of association of devotees is uplifting in some way or the other. The one that is being discussed, sajatiye, ashay, snigdhe, sange, swato vare, that is something which is the most desirable. But even if we are not able to get that kind of an association, any kind of association of devotees where Krishna Katha is being discussed will help you in some way or the other. That is for sure. Correct answer is all of the above. How to handle impediments in life? How should a devotee handle the impediments in his life or her life? Hmm? Keep on enjoying life despite impediments by maintaining positivity. Continue to execute devotional service. Patiently face the challenges. Expect for Lord's mercy. Become more merciful in dealings with others. Accumulate more money to deal with difficult times in life. Hmm? What is the answer?
It's
Correct
B,
answer.
Prabhuji.
Be
B.
Prabhuji.
B. B. Continue to execute devotional service. Patiently face the challenges and expect for the Lord's mercy. And this is which limb? This is limb number 44th. Tat kripekshanam, expecting the Lord's mercy. And we gave a very important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, eligibility for mercy. Canto 10, verse 14, chapter 14, verse number 8. Tattenu kampam susumakshamaano bhunjane vatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivet yo mukti padesadaye bhag. Hmm? So we discussed this elaborately in our class. So the idea is we keep on doing devotional service. By doing devotional service, we will get some higher taste. That higher taste will continue to maintain our motivation in our life. So when some difficulties come in our life, in the life of a devotee, that higher taste actually keeps us going in those adverse circumstances. And by doing that regularly, by doing that continuously on a regular basis, we should wait for Lord's mercy to come. We should not demand Lord mercy. We should not unnecessarily become impatient that Lord mercy is not coming. Patiently, we should wait for Lord mercy, continue to do our devotional service as we are learning from Nectar of Devotion. By Rup Goswami's instructions, by this very nice book, we are learning how to execute devotional service. So continue to practice devotional service in our life without fail. And that will give us the strength to face and handle impediments in our life, because by discharging those devotional service we will feel nourished, we will feel rejuvenated, and because we are nourished, rejuvenated, we will be able to face impediments in the life. So answer is B. Smriti versus dhyanam. What is the difference between remembrance and meditation of the Lord? Somehow connecting the mind to the Lord, contemplate with absorption on the Lord is dhyanam. Connecting the mind is dhyanam, contemplating with absorption is smriti. Serving the Lord casually is smriti, serving the Lord with attention is dhyanam. Serving the Lord casually is dhyanam, serving the Lord with attention is smriti. So one of the challenges with me is when I am making this question is to make wrong choices. Right choice is already known because the question is known. So making a wrong choice is a challenge. So this question is an example how I struggled to make some wrong choices. So correct answer is uh,
A.
A, Prabhuji.
correct answer is A. So Smriti means somehow coming some remembering the Lord, some remembrance. You see the picture of the Lord, you see hear some pastime of the Lord that reminds you of the Lord, like that. Somehow or the other connecting with the Lord, that is known as Smriti. But Dhyanam means Dhyanam means dedicatedly contemplating on the Lord. Dedicatedly contemplating on the Lord actually means Dhyanam. So the correct answer here is A. Somehow connecting to the mind to the Lord is Smriti, and contemplating with absorption on the Lord is Dhyanam. Now comes the
Last question.
a very interesting question, last question, and we are dot on time. That is good. Uh, Rather, we are 7 minutes early, little bit. That is also good. There is a story described of a Brahmana in chapter 10th of Nectar of Devotion, through which process was he serving the Lord with great love and devotion and got an eternal place in Vaikuntha. Through singing for the Lord, through cooking for the Lord, through worship of the Lord,
Very
through meditation of the Lord. Hmm?
Through meditation.
through meditation of the Lord. Yeah. So I think one or two devotees got this one a little incorrect, but that is fine. See, dhyanam meditation, as mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, dhyanam can be done in four ways: Rupa dhyanam, Guna dhyanam, Krida dhyanam, and Seva dhyanam. Rupa dhyanam means absorbing our mind on the form of the Lord. Guna dhyanam means absorbing our mind on the quality of the Lord. Krida dhyanam means absorbing our mind on some pastime of the Lord. But the last one is Seva dhyanam. Seva dhyanam means simply if we meditate in our mind that we are doing some service to the Lord. Maybe we have woken up in the morning when we are entering into the temple, ringing the bell, entering into the temple, uh, and then maybe entering into the DT kitchen, and then maybe we are doing some cooking, and maybe we are cooking some nice rice dish for the Lord. So we are meditating that we are cooking rice, we are now boiling the rice, and then we are now actually uh, checking the rice whether it has boiled or not, and maybe we are mixing some nice masala or some uh, spices in the rice, like that. We are absorbed in cooking the rice in our mind only. That is called seva dhyanam. We are not actually physically doing that seva, but we are meditating that we are doing seva. So this devotee Brahmana was doing some seva like this because he was not very resourceful. And by doing this seva, he was doing what? He was making some nice kheer, some sweet rice for the Lord in the dhyan. And by doing that meditation on seva itself, this devotee, this fortunate devotee, Brahmana devotee, actually achieved an eternal place in the Vaikuntha. So that is a very nice uh, story given in Nectar of Devotion about elaborating on the point what is actually meant by Seva Dhyanam. And we also gave you another example from physical in this world. And this example was from this book called Salted Bread. So devotees in Russia, they were persecuted for doing these kind of activities, devotional activities, for following devotional path of life. So the government is very, very oppressive, very, very against these devotees in Russia who are following this path of bhakti, and they would put them in jail. The government will put them in jail, bring all kind of atrocities towards these people. So when a group of devotees was put in jail, you will find this description in Salted Bread, this book. So the devotees were in jail, and this was time early morning, and they wanted to do Mangal Arti. So they used toothpaste to make tilak, and then they did all kind of things, like they were given bread for eating. So they dried that bread, and from those bread crumbs they made some beads, and from those beads they make some mala, and they would chant on those bread beads. So like that. Uh, in the morning there was no temple, but they assumed that there is a deity, and they will sing arti, they will offer lamp in their mind. So that kind of seva dhyanam they were doing. So in case we are also in some situation like this, I would pray that we are not in that situation, but sometimes we are traveling, we are not having a lot of resources. We can even offer our services, offer our seva in our mind also. That is also a limb of bhakti. That is the main point we want to emphasize. So with these 27 questions, I hope we have completed till chapter number 10. uh, and I have completed preparing the quiz, the next quiz, quiz number 4, and that is from chapter number 11 till chapter number 14. And this time it is, I think, 28 questions. So more or less I am already there preparing the quiz. I have to just uh, do some little fine tuning to finalize the quiz, and the quiz should be available to you maybe from tomorrow onwards. So next Sunday we will do quiz number 4, and I would also like to say that we will have to do quiz number 5 also. So total 5 quizzes we will do. But uh, I think the quizzes are helping the devotees to absorb the message of Nectar of Devotion very nicely. That is why we are taking. I'm taking at least that much trouble to develop that quiz. Actually, it should not use the word trouble. That is a joyful activity personally also, and hope the devotees are also feeling the benefit of learning this book of Nectar of Devotion through these quizzes. So, any other question or any other comment or point you have after we have finished this quiz on till chapter number 10? You are most welcome to discuss. Meanwhile, I will say the concluding words. All glories to the Nectar of Devotion, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Rup Goswami. So thank you very much. Questions, any takeaways, any comments? Most welcome now. Thank you. Are you feeling inspired to follow these limbs of bhakti? I would like to ask. Do you feel inspired? Or have you already started following some of those limbs? Anyone would like to share that personal experience or personal realization?
Yes, Prabhuji, I would like to say something.
Yes. Okay.
Earlier on, my practice used to be, I think I already shared that when you get up in the morning, first thing would do to chant Gayatri Mantra. And then some Aarti, Om Jai Jagdish Hare, and things like that. But once I started listening to your lectures, naturally, there is a drift, considerable drift, I would say. Gayatri Mantra, of course, I have not left. It is still one of the first thing I do in the morning. Then going to the small temple, then bowing down and sort of paying respects to the deity, and then chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra nearly 5 to 6 times in the morning, then similar thing in the evening. So totally I have been able to touch 10 or sometime 11 sort of rounds.
That's a very
and
healthy round.
Going to the temple and those the practice of bowing down, and then this kind of change I am pursuing right now, and wants to further sort of brush it up. Of course, there are many offenses perhaps I am doing still now, but I am on the process of correcting myself. And the
So
last thing you told us that you can do it in your mind, so that I am still using quite a lot.
Okay. So very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your experience. Anyone?
Prabhuji, I would like to say something.
Yes, Vidya Mother. Yes, please.
I think this has given me understanding what I was doing unconsciously, perhaps. That is Aarti, or as Prabhuji said, I also do Gayatri Mantra. But adding that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, maybe even 2 times in mind, is helping, and understanding what I'm doing also.
Okay. So that has given you a little more conviction on what you are doing and what is the benefit of doing. So you feel now more grounded, more confident on what you are doing, right? So the faith has deepened and taken a little more grounding in your situation. Okay.
Yes. Thank
you very much. Thank you. So any other devotee would like to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Jivan Prabhu, you are already initiated.
Initiated devotee. So I have to do minimum 16 rounds. So,
Yeah.
and only thing is that I do minimum I'm doing up to 24 rounds every day.
Yeah.
And also I just want to submit that every day before starting the chanting, I do the 6 that's a normal convention which has been followed in our Sanjay group. We do the 6 prayers as well as the 10 offenses. All these things are there. And as far as possible, I'm trying to do my best to do the concentrated chanting. without offenses. I also want to know what is Nama Abhasa.
Naam Abhasa Prabhuji, when we are trying to chant the name by best of our capacity, but somehow because of our weaknesses in our heart, we are not able to concentrate properly on the holy name. We are getting inattentive while chanting. So then the full potency of the holy name is not there. So that is called actually Naam Abhas. That is the Naam Abhas stage of chanting. Uh, so despite our best of our efforts, sometimes we are not attentive. Our mind continues to drift away. Then we once again pull it back, focus on the name. Again, it drifts away. So uh, that is something I would say in the category of Naam Abhas. It is not pure chanting. It is chanting with some realization and understanding of the holy name.
Like Ratya Bhasha, which we discussed at the end, you know.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Just like we discussed that Ratya
Yeah.
Bhasha, and we discussed, you know, that is that
Right.
when we at the last Bhava Bhakti, when we this thing, you know,
Right.
there also the thing Abhasa comes. That's why I got a doubt I wanted to ask you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So I would also invite other devotees like Manish Prabhu or Rakesh ji. They would like to share their realization of.
Prabhu.
Yes, Manish ji.
Yeah, Prabhu. It has been a good journey from last couple of years. I was
Mhm.
doing it earlier, but now, as you know, the faith Shraddha has increased day by day, deep
Okay.
into the roots. And I'm also doing around 12 rounds every day.
Oh,
Whenever I
very good.
find time, whenever I travel,
Okay.
everywhere I chant the names. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
you know
in
that.
case in case devotees reach 16 rounds, then please kindly inform me, because then you become an eligible candidate for initiation.
What?
So
Yes,
at
yes.
least I can put your name in my list in case you reach 16 rounds, then you
Okay.
become an eligible candidate for initiation. Also, certainly you need to follow the four regulative principles. That is the
Yes,
minimum
yes.
criteria.
Yeah,
And
it is
then,
there, Prabhu. Yeah.
yeah. So uh, kindly inform me once you are comfortable consistently doing 16 rounds, maybe for say maybe a couple of months, at least maybe 5 6 months. You are then and following four regulative principles, you are then eligible candidate for taking shelter of some bona fide spiritual master within ISKCON society, uh, as per the guidelines given within the ISKCON circles. And in case you are able to identify someone, maybe we can help you connect you with your aspiring spiritual master, guru, and uh, certainly we can help you in that case. So continue doing all this.
Yeah.
Continue to feel nourished, inspired, and I wish all the best to all the devotees. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And also,
Rakesh ji.
Prabhuji, after
Yeah,
after we complete this NOD, we can have one generic discussion class before we move to Srimad Bhagavatam.
you would
The
like to
last
do
time
that?
also, yeah, Ishab Ghosti, something you did, correct? In between one class.
Okay, so what actually this is what I'm trying to do, Ishtagoshti, only
Yeah,
in
Ishab
a
Ghosti, correct,
informal
correct.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing. I'm not announcing it. So what only my only challenge is, will we have 60 minutes or maybe 75 minutes for that kind of discussion? I'm happy to do that. Uh,
Because
so
we also wanted to understand more on how to progress, and then there were few questions also there. So we can
okay,
discuss on this. Yeah. Maybe if
okay,
other devotees also like, so we can have one class just discussions on this, and then we go with the Srimad Bhagavatam,
yeah,
starting
yeah,
from there.
that is fine. That is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Hmm. Yeah, we can take feedback also. There
Yes,
is
yes, the
another
same thing.
another
Feedback.
another
Yeah, yeah.
aspect is, if you want in these classes something to be changed, something to be added, something different, some ideas you might have, you want to suggest, you can very well do that. And in the Ishtgoshti, maybe we can give floor to every devotee to share their own realization, like I'm asking right now, and then maybe we can learn from each other also. Yeah. Rakesh ji, yes, you were saying something.
Prabhuji, I am also doing minimum 16 rounds daily
Oh, Hari
for
Bol.
the past Hari
So,
Bol, Prabhuji.
so you
Prabhuji,
are
on
you are
auspicious days, I do 20 or 24.
Hari Krishna, Hari
I,
Bol. Very
I
nice.
try.
Okay.
But I am only at the Namabhas stage, Prabhuji, not pure
That
chanting.
that certainly I am also at that stage. So don't think
Prabhuji.
I am a teacher, then I am at a very exalted stage. That Harinam, focus on Harinam is something which is not a very easy thing. But
Prabhuji,
minimum we are fulfilling that commitment of chanting 16 rounds. That is certainly as a minimum we want, or the authorities would want. So if you are interested in initiation, you have identified any spiritual master within ISKCON society, kindly let me know.
Prabhuji
Uh,
still not kindly help me.
okay, now that is something which you also which is something you need to do, Prabhu. That is an action on your part.
Right.
Huh? Because that is a personal choice. You need to feel inspired. I don't want to say that you should take initiation from my own spiritual master, or maybe someone else, or because that is something which you need to figure out.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
I am trying to find, but not able. अभी some time नहीं आया प्रभु
Yeah,
कृष्ण की कृपा नहीं हुई अभी.
that is fine. That is, you can take your time. You can explore various spiritual masters. Their lectures are available on internet. Sometimes people are interested that who is Hindi speaking, I need to take shelter. Somebody needs to be within India. There are some other considerations also besides only inspiration. There are other considerations also, that I will feel more inspired if his mother tongue is Hindi. Or maybe people who are from south of India, they might feel inspired. Someone who is coming from a maybe South Indian background, maybe Kannada speaking or Telugu speaking, or maybe different ways. So that is way, that is, I mean, you can check within your own uh, with your own capacity and approach, whom you would like to take inspiration and initiation. And if you are more firmed and fixed, but don't make it a exercise for a lifetime. Maybe assign some time period to it, maybe 1 year, 2 year, because there are other considerations also. ISKCON will also require you to appear for maybe ISKCON disciple course, ISKCON disciple course, and so on.
प्रभु till
uh,
now I am very inspired by Nitai Sevani Mataji.
but she's
But
not
I
an
don't know.
initiating, she's not an initiating guru in our society
अच्छा,
at the moment. She's
her
a
lectures are
she's a
very good.
preacher. Yeah, she's a preacher,
Right.
but she's not a initiating guru. But her spiritual master Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is the initiating guru. Maybe you can think about Jayapataka Maharaj, but Jayapataka Maharaj has many disciples also. Like he
Right.
has 45,000, 50,000 disciples. So sometimes disciples may think that if some guru has lot of disciples, maybe uh, I may not get opportunity to interact with the guru. I mean, I'm not putting you away from anyone or advocating against or for, but there are multiple
Right.
considerations people give. That's what
Right.
I'm
Prabhu.
trying to emphasize. Okay, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is a little more stricter in our institution. Uh, Bhakti
Bhakti.
Vikas Swami,
अच्छा,
His
Prabhu.
Holiness.
Okay. Prabhu.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this is some discussion which we can have offline also,
Okay.
to
Prabhu.
advise you in a more personal capacity. So
Okay.
uh, let me also give some time to Jayamala Mataji and Lakshmi Vinayak Prabhu. I have given. You'd like to share something after this quiz, Lakshmi Prabhu, Vinayak Prabhu, and Jayamala Mataji? You want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Respectful
Mataji.
pranams to you.
My
Thank
pranams.
you so much for the quizzes that you give after every section. It is very helpful for us, very insightful, and thank you so much for all your efforts despite hectic schedule. as far as my realization is concerned, I will take forward what Vidya Mataji told in during after the class. Earlier, before I came to Krishna consciousness, yes, of course, there is puja and lighting of the aarti and lighting of the lamps and agarbatti and all that was there, but it was more of a mechanical thing. I did not know why I was doing that. What was the purpose? What was the understanding behind that? It was just like my parents were doing, that is why I am also continuing it. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, that realization that why we have to do all these things, and the realization that the Lord is the master, and they are the master of our home, and we are just serving them. So that realization, and after waking up in the morning also, it was usually going to the kitchen and starting the cookings and all that, but then we were told that the first thing you have to do is japa, so starting the day by taking the name of the Lord, because that is very important. So that realization also was given to us. So many beautiful realization.
Okay.
And today, but one thing I feel where I'm still lacking, not one thing, many things, but one of the things, like you today quoted the Srimad Bhagavatam verse, Prabhu, saying that tatte anukampam
Susamikshamano, right.
That attitude, I'm very far away from that attitude. Anything ups and downs are a part and parcel of life, but still that realization that that it is a part and parcel of life, it will come and it will go. Still I have to get that realization. I'm still not at that point where these are all God will show mercy and all those things. So that realization maybe Krishna will give, but
certainly.
So
very much appreciate Mataji. And the thought that I am not yet there actually is something which should always be there in the mind of the devotee. So the devotee never thinks that he's already there. So there is already something which is missing and need to be progressed, need to be worked out, has to be there. So that is very much a genuine thought, and a very noble and a humble thought a devotee should develop. So thanks a lot for sharing your realization. And that is the reason we call Nectar of Devotion as science of bhakti, because
very
science
true.
means
Yes.
knowing what we are doing. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, is it okay to chant before taking a bath?
Yeah. It is okay to chant before taking a bath. Yeah.
सुबह मुंह धोकर कुल्ला करके
हाँ, chanting कर सकते हैं.
कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी.
जी.
ठीक है.
Okay, Lakshmi Prabhuji, Vinayak Prabhu, you like to say something? You need to unmute your mic. Not yet able to listen to you, Prabhu. Okay. Maybe I'll connect with Vinayak Prabhu on a personal basis. Personally, we do connect with Vinayak Prabhu, and Prabhu is very inquisitive, many times asks many questions. So we'll connect with Prabhu on a separate basis. Maybe there's some difficulty on his part to maybe discuss here. So with that, I will close the class. Thanks a lot for everyone participating so nicely and so enthusiastically. Next quiz you will receive by tomorrow positively. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.